Okay, so let's talk a little bit about menus and Windows applications. And we will start off, as we often do, inside of the beginning of a demo. So this is a demo for menus, and it's actually a really nice, really straightforward control. So what we're going to do is add a menu strip to our application. So I'm going to drag this onto the application, or the form. And the first thing you notice is that although it does affect the form, as you see here, in a visual way, it's not quite the same. So we've got this indication here at the top of our form, type here. That's actually going to be a menu item. The menu strip is sort of two things. It's this visual indication right here, plus the menu strip down here. So this is the first control we see that has, at least partially, a non-visible part. In other words, we see it at design time, but we're not going to see that at runtime. So if I click Start and run the program, there's a very slight indication right here. It's a slightly lighter area, but without actually typing any characters there, we don't really see a change on the form. So let's go ahead and make that change. So we go into the form, and as you see, it says type here. If I just click there, more stuff appears. So this is my first menu item, and a very common one is file. So I'll go with that. And for a second one, we can say edit. And every time you type a new one, you get a new space for other ones. So let me go back to file. And again, sort of the standard thing here might be open or save and that sort of thing. So it's as simple as that. I now have a menu strip, which is the entire control, this whole thing, that is composed of menu items, in this case, file and edit. All right, so about the only event associated with this is the click event. So if I go to open, and again, I'm still at design time, and I double click, I am immediately taken to the stub for that event procedure. And so in this case, I'm just going to say message box show open menu item click, because that's what actually just took place. All right, so if we run the code as you would expect, there's my menu, and I can click File, and there's Open. I click on that, and I will get a a message box that says menu open menu item click. All right. So the next step you might want to do or have is to specify shortcut hotkeys or access keys. So let's do that. And the first one, let me go back to design time, is a matter, strangely enough, of the caption or the text associated with the menu. So let's say, for example, that what I wanted to be to have an access key of O associated with the open file menu. So if I go back to the beginning and put an ampersand there, what this says, if you put an ampersand in front of a letter of the caption, it means that's the access key. So I'm also going to do that, and just to be different, to show you it doesn't have to go with the first character, I'm going to put an ampersand in front of the I on file. And you'll note that when I put the ampersand in front of the O and then actually accepted that change, I get an underscore, and that indicates to me that that is the access key, the O, for the open menu item. And again, I've done the same thing with file, except it's the letter I. And so if I click Start, there's my application, and right now you don't see those underlines, but just like any Windows application, if you hit the Alt key, those underlines will appear, and so now you see that the I has a small underline underneath it. And then if I hit I at that point, it opens up the menu for that particular item, and there you see the O that also has an underline, and I don't even have to hit the O at this point because I hit the Alt key to get into File. So now if I just hit the letter O, it will execute that same event procedure, and there's the message box that's a result of calling that event procedure. Okay, so that's an access key. A shortcut is even better. So let's go here. And if I look at the properties for this menu item, or right click on it and go to Properties, you will see that it says shortcut keys as one of the properties, and I can select that or hit the down arrow there, and let's say Control plus the key O, the letter O, case insensitive, will be my my shortcut key for open. That makes reasonable sense. All right, so now you see Control plus O listed there, and then when I run the code, my same form, and of course I could hit the Alt key to get the access keys to show up, but because I know the Control O is open, I just press Control O, and sure enough, it executes that event procedure, which causes the message dialog box to show up. Okay, so that's menus, and you can see how easy it is to add a menu to your application, as well as supply event procedures, access keys, or shortcuts.